Centre mirror left, slowing down. Now the reason why we check centre mirror, actual fact you're going straight. So these are the things that you need to try and take into account and bear in mind when it comes to these little things I'm indicating. A lot of individuals, good drivers, experienced drivers, individuals will put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money into their lessons, go for their driving test and fall short on these little things. To be honest with you, naturally it can easily be done. I mean, we tend to focus on such big obstacles, huge challenges, that we sometimes neglect the little things. And when we fall short due to these little things, we walk away kicking ourselves, thinking, you know what, that was something that could have easily done. But it's purely because we focus on so much bigger challenges, bigger obstacles, and we're so concerned about those that we start to neglect the little areas or the little points that we need to be focusing on as well.